All right, hello everyone. This is Peyton, an editor at BSC. I edited the wonderful short story collection Hannah and Other Stories by Rami Ungar. I'm with Rami Ungar right now to discuss some things about Hannah. Rami, would you like to introduce yourself?
Hey everyone, my name's Rami Unger. I am a horror writer from Columbus, Ohio. In addition to writing, I love reading, following my many interests, and making you wonder if I'm actually human or something else.
All right, Rami, before we hop into the wide, the overall gist of the book, let's talk a little bit about the individual short stories. Specifically, I would like to talk about Queen Alice. I really liked Queen Alice. I love
I
the
liked it
not to,
too.
yeah, not to spoil it or anything, but I loved the psychological horror of it. I'm a big psychological horror fan. Um, do you want to talk a little bit about the short story?
Sure. For those of you who are unfamiliar with it, which I assume is everyone, I would describe Queen Alice as a story where Alice in Wonderland meets Slender Man, this strange figure um called Queen Alice starts reaching out to teenagers over the internet using social media and psychology to kind of make them part of her cult. Or at least that's what the rumors say. And an investigative reporter starts looking into it, but he ends up finding more than he originally bargained for. And one of the great things about Alice in Wonderland is that you can just about take anything from that book, or books I should say, because it's actually two books, and weave your own sort of story. It's kind of like really great raw material. So I just had a blast using that material for my own work and making a very strange psychological horror story that's really relevant to today's times.
hmm Yeah, I also loved the Alice in Wonderland part. Alice in Wonderland was definitely one of my favorite movies, like all iterations of it. I've read all the books, so
What's your
it's
favorite
definitely interesting to
iteration?
me. Um, I would say honestly the classic,
You mean
just
the
like the
Disney
first
version?
book. Well, the book. But
Ah,
Disney definitely holds a special place in my heart, just because it's Disney. I grew up on Disney. But yeah,
me
the
too.
first book definitely my favorite.
Yeah, I actually have both books in
hmm
a collected volume in on my bookshelf downstairs.
Yeah,
It's got anime style drawings, which I love.
that's interesting. I
Yeah.
have the little Barnes and Noble classic one, the pretty pink
Oh,
one.
nice.
It's
Uh,
so nice.
my favorite adaptation of Alice in Wonderland is not the Disney version. I
hmm
actually prefer. There was this TV movie from Hallmark back in the 1990s with a humongous cast of big names like Whoopi Goldberg and Martin
hmm
Short and Robbie Coltrane, and it was live action. It was is really well done. They put 150% effort into making a really great story in a really great Alice in Wonderland adaptation, and I just love it. If you ever are curious, go and check it out. It's actually free on YouTube right now with ads, so I highly recommend it.
Nice. Yeah, definitely. So obviously Queen Alice has taken inspiration from a lot of things. We just talked about Alice in Wonderland. You mentioned the creepypasta Slender Man earlier, which I know everyone my age, like early 20s, would definitely know about that because it was huge when we were in middle school.
Oh yeah, it was big for me from right around the end of high school to a couple years after I graduated college.
Mm-hmm.
I think its last big burst was the 2018 movie, but
Yeah. The
that was like
movie.
that came out well after the craze had died down, and it wasn't very good.
It wasn't, unfortunately. I know I have one of my friends, we were interested in creepypasta together, and we went and saw that movie together after all these years, and both of us were sadly just a little disappointed. Like, with the cast, we thought it would have been really good, but the storyline was iffy, which is sad.
Yeah, you're
Yeah.
better off with like amateur or home movies of about Slender
Hmm.
Man. There are a couple of films out there that are like free to watch. They were like not for profit films that people just make because they love the
Hmm.
character.
Yep, the video games were great. I still subscribe to Marble Hornets on YouTube, even though they haven't posted anything in literally years.
I've seen some of those videos. They are pretty cool.
I love the Marble Hornet videos. So good. Definitely check them out if you haven't as well. So yeah, Queen Alice, obviously a creepy pasta in your little world of horror. Is there, would you, I don't know, not favorite, but like, is there a part that sticks out to you as like a top peak piece or passage in Queen Alice?
Passage that comes to mind first and foremost is just where the main character, investi- investigative reporter Joshua Blumfeld, first hears about the character and starts to investigate. I love crime dramas, and
Mm-hmm.
I like that idea. I like watching people actually start to do investigative work, trying to find the truth behind a story or behind an incident. So that was a pretty awesome part for me.
Yeah.
The and I really like how that passage just kind of established the tone and the mood of the story. The
Mhm.
uh, in how it draws the reader in, or at least how I hope it draws the reader in.
Yeah. Do you think you could read a little bit of that passage for
Ah,
us?
funny you should mention it. I've got a printout of the part of the story right here.
Yay.
All right, so almost lost all my papers.
Oh no.
Hmm. So at this part of the story, Blumfeld is picking up his son Jace from school,
Hmm.
and this is where he first hears about the character of Queen Alice,
Hmm.
whom Jace seems to think is real. But why am I telling you about it? Let me tell it to you instead.
Please do.
Have you ever heard of Queen Alice? Jace asked as he slid into the front seat of the car. Good to see you too, Blumfield replied sarcastically. Have I ever heard of who now? Queen Alice, Jace repeated, looking out towards the quad of Blackwood High School. Several teens were still milling around the school, staring at their phones, throwing frisbees, or gabbing as they waited for rides. Blumfield, his reporter's eye ever sharp, noticed his shy, quiet son watch a long-haired blonde girl wearing a faded sweatshirt and long black skirt walk past the other kids and down the road with her head down and her skirt swirling around her. Who is that young lady? He inquired. Blumfield had seen that type of walk before in his time as a journalist, usually by people who were afraid of something. Whatever that girl was afraid of, he hoped it was just anxiety, not anything serious or even life threatening. Lily Forson, Jace answered, his eyes never leaving her as she disappeared out of sight. She's a senior. We've talked a few times. He blinked. Anyway, have you ever heard of Queen Alice? Blumfield switched gears into drive. So Jace, a freshman, is into a senior girl, eh? The age difference worried him, as did that walk. If that girl's situation was bad, she might seek solace in Blumfield's impressionable, obviously lovesick son. That could lead to problems. Should he, as his father, probe a bit further? No, Jace wants to know about something else right now. He thought, glancing at his son. Might as well humor him. We can talk about Lily Forson later. Blumfield searched his memory. Queen Alice, huh? It rings a bell, but I can't put my finger on where. Is she a rocker? Jace shook his head. She's a cult leader. All the kids at school are talking about her. A cult leader? Blumfield repeated. Really? The kids at school are talking about her? Yeah, he replied. Supposedly she's got a bunch of followers. She reaches out to people through social media and pretends to be their friend. And then she uses psychology to get under your skin and make you do her bidding. People she sets her eyes on either become her servants or die horrible deaths. And this is a real person? Blumfield asked, glancing at the rearview mirror. Jace nodded again. Yeah, she's caused a bunch of murders all over the place. Even a girl at school, Anna Vick, disappeared. People think Queen Alice made it happen. She didn't move away? No, she just disappeared. So did her family. Nobody's been able to get into contact with them for 2 weeks. And right after she disappeared, she shut down her social media. People are saying Queen Alice got to her and threatened to expose a dirty video of her, post it on porn sites, and then tell people where to find her, I think was what they said. For maybe the thousandth time since his son started using social media, Blumfield was glad he and his ex-wife had had frequent discussions with Jace about online safety. In the beginning, Jace had been annoyed by the talks, which kept him from gaming and hanging out with friends. However, as the years had gone by and some of his own friends had gotten in trouble for stuff they did online, the boy had grown to appreciate the talks. Sometimes he even started a discussion, especially when he heard about someone and ruining their own life through irresponsible use of technology. Even better, the discussions had worked. If someone did want to use Jace's online profiles against him, they'd be hard pressed to find anything damning. That was how careful Blumfield's boy was when on the internet. From the sound of things, it didn't seem like this Anna Vick girl had gotten the same discussion, and she might have suffered for it. Did she mention Queen Alice? Blumfield questioned. That's what Kate Renford says, and she was best friends with Anna. Apparently, Anna talked about Queen Alice a lot right before she disappeared. And how does this make you feel? Jace avoided his father's eyes and stared out the window. Scared, I guess? All the kids at school are. I mean, she's supposed to be worse than Manson. You know, the cult leader who killed that actress? She can reach anyone with a touch of a button. Manson couldn't do that. Everyone thinks it could be the next person she'll want to recruit or kill. I know who Manson is, Blumfield stated, remembering when he was young how Manson had been used as a boogeyman of sorts to get kids to behave. But Jace's answer confirmed Blumfield's suspicions. His son was bringing up this Queen Alice character because he wanted his dad, a reporter who talked to hardened criminals and even seen warfare in Iraq, to investigate this internet age boogeyman. Or perhaps boogie woman was the better term, and make sure she didn't mean any harm to him. A moment of silence passed. I'll see if I can find out something about her. Jace's eyes lit up and a relieved smile appeared on his lips. Once home, Jace went upstairs to do his homework, and Blumfield went to his study to research Queen Alice. So how was that?
Great. I'm very intrigued. Sorry, excuse me. I wonder what he finds out about her. Hey,
Well,
read
the
the book.
results will
Buy
yeah,
the book to find out.
the results will surprise even you, even if you think you know where this story is going.
Yeah. All right. Thank you for reading that.
You're
So in the
welcome.
yeah, in the passage, not only is she like a little creepy pasta, but Queen Alice is also more of a cult leader than anything. I'll be honest, even though I've read a lot of creepy pasta, I don't think I've ever read a cult leader one. That was really interesting.
I don't think I've found many about cults either, so it's a new territory to work in. I mean, there have been talk about people worshiping Slender Man and or
Hmm.
some of the other characters, but not
Yeah.
about like actual cults out to get people. Oh, and I liked I liked playing around with that. Cults are big in horror, so I enjoyed that. I also enjoyed making a reference to Manson.
Hmm.
I mean, uh, that whole passage about oh, Blumfield knowing about who Manson is. I I'm hoping that some of my readers, especially those who are a bit older than me, will laugh at that because they know about Manson. They grew up hearing the stories. I actually didn't really know much about Manson until maybe about 2016, 2017 when I read Helter Skelter.
Hmm.
So imagine what the younger readers out there are like, or people who are Jace's age, in high school. They
Right.
probably and where the past is just this nebulous, boring thing that only really becomes relevant if you watch it in a movie.
Hmm.
So I think that will it be I think that'll make people laugh, hopefully.
Yeah, I know. I don't know much about Manson myself other than, he was a cult leader that killed a ton of people because he was a little before my time. But, you definitely hear about people like that. So
Well, if
this
you go
is,
on Netflix, there's a really good documentary about cult
yeah.
leaders right now, or docu-series, I should say. The first episode is on Manson, so I recommend it.
Hmm. Yeah. Who knows? Maybe Blumfield will start a docu-series about Queen Alice.
Oh, I can dream. I would actually really enjoy a movie version of Queen Alice,
Yeah.
a movie adaptation. I would kill to have John Noble play the lead. I modeled Blumfield in my head is played by actor John Noble, who was in Fringe, Sleepy Hollow, and Elementary. For those who
Hmm.
are unaware.
That sounds really cool. Man, buy the book. So, we could get that.
Yes, please buy the book. And
Buy
if
the
anyone
book.
knows John Noble or a Blumhouse Studios, tell them about it too.
Yes, please do. There's so many good short stories in Hannah and other stories that would make amazing movies.
Or
Even
video
little
games, or stage
series.
plays,
Yeah.
or graphic novels. There's a ton of different mediums these stories can be translated into.
Hmm.
So
Yes.
if anyone is able to do adaptations and wants to work with me, send me an email. I'm easy to work with, and it doesn't take much to bribe me. I mean, license my work.
Yeah, buy the book, people. We want amazing things for this story. Any last comments about Queen Alice?
Um, don't think you know where the story is going to go once you start reading it. I put in some surprises that will hopefully make you go, "Whoa! Did not see that coming."
Yes, Queen Alice, really good. I really enjoyed it. It's one of my favorites. But yeah, so definitely thank you, Rami, for talking with me. Definitely buy Queen Alice. You can pre-order it now at bscpublishinggroup.square.site/Hannah. It comes out September 23rd. So exciting, only a few weeks away. So exciting. You can pre-order it now at that site I just said, also at like Amazon, Barnes and Noble, like
Hobo
Kobo. Like there's and a couple other places. Like we even have retailers in Portugal and Australia.
and
Like,
Germany.
yeah, you can get it anywhere. You can pre-order it now so you have it on the day. So yeah, thank you, Rami, for talking with me. Where can they find you?
I'm all over the place. You can find me at my website, ramiungarthewriter.com. That's RAMIUNGAR, thewriter.com. Also on Facebook, Twitter. I refuse to call it X, Threads, Instagram, and YouTube.
Yay. All right, thank you. Thank you guys for watching, and we'll be back with more videos. By
Until
the book.
next time, pleasant nightmares.
All right, bye-bye.
Bye.